Salam. Okay, this is video 4. Okay, and as we said, to hate the black man is to hate one's own masculinity. If you're a white man, a Mexican man, Asian man, Chinese man, and you have no empathy for a black man that's been beaten on the street, or the prison, them being imprisoned in the institution, or them being denied opportunity in the job market, then you hate your own masculinity. If you're afraid of them, then that's because you're afraid of your own masculinity. You're afraid of your own phallic. Okay, you're basically afraid of your own shadow, because that's what the black man represents. He represents the man. He represents man. Just as the black woman represents woman, she represents femininity. So when you work around talking about the white woman is the most prettiest, the Asians and most perfect, trying to keep the black woman down, then you're really keeping woman down. There is no, how can there be the most beautiful anything woman if you're keeping the woman down? Because she represents woman. She represents what woman is. The black man represents what man is. What represents what masculinity is. Okay? He is the Taha. The black man is Taha. And Taha means man. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam when the Prophet was standing in prayer. He called him Taha. And Taha means man. So the black man is Taha. He's Taha. And if you're afraid of the Taha, then you're afraid of yourself. If you're afraid of Taha, you're afraid of yourself. You're afraid of yourself, man. White man, Mexican man, Asian man. You're afraid of your own strength. You're afraid of your own power. You're afraid of your own phallic. Because that black man represents you. If you let the commercial world make you afraid of Taha, you let the commercial Rothschild, the beast rapist, make you afraid of yourself. But you can't let him oppress the black woman, because then you'll let him oppress woman, right? You'll make him oppress you, because the black woman, the woman teaches you. Right? Don't let them rape your family, your mother and your father. And then you do the same thing. That's fratricide. Okay? And then the beasts want to hide, the rapists want to hide behind a woman, hide behind the queen throne, right? No, the English throne, right? So he can manipulate it and use it to do his bidding in war, so humanity would continue to kill itself, right? Because he's got the masculinity, he's got the testosterone oppressed, right? Okay. Because that black man, that Taha is all man. He's a white man, he's a Mexican man, Asian man. He's all man. Just like the black woman's all woman. That's why you're doing that rap in China, rap in Mexico, rap in France, rap in Germany, rap in London, in England, rap in Africa, in Arab countries. Because it's natural for you. It's natural for you to act in accordance with your nature, your Taha. It's natural for you to do as the black man does, because to do as the black man does is to do as man does. To do as the black woman does is to do as woman does. Okay? Remember, we're one. We're one. We come out of one. We come out of one penis. We come out of one pussy. We're one. Okay? And I'm not trying to be gross, and I'm not trying to even explain myself, because I say what I say because I say what I want to say. But, mashallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but I'm being very explicit, because it's like I have to get very literal, where the truth cannot be denied. Get it very basic, very instinctive, where it cannot be denied. Okay? Now, okay, so they're hiding behind that woman in England, sitting on the throne of his, making her the queen of his commercial war, and that's okay. That's okay. and doing all his bidding, as I said, allowing him to rape the world, using, okay, placing her on as queen of his throne, on the queen on the throne, as queen of his commercial world, so that he can hide behind her military, and she will allow him to do the raping of the world. Okay, that ain't no woman. That ain't no woman, because a woman wouldn't let somebody rape her children. That ain't no woman. But then again, she doesn't have any power either, because she really doesn't have any power, because she's pseudo queen of his commercial dynasty. She's pseudo queen because he has, okay, because he has the crown is really. The crown is really, as I said, it's office. It's an office that's controlled by that. That's part of the government in the city of, I think it's London City, because there's 3 city-states: Vatican City-State, London City-State, and Washington City-State, District of Columbia, District of Columbia City-State, and Washington D.C. Right? Those are all city-states, and they all are autonomous. Autonomous from U.S., autonomous from London or from England, autonomous from what's it called? Italy. Vatican City is autonomous from Italy. Washington District of Columbia is autonomous from the United States. They're all private-owned cities, okay? Basically privately owned city-states, okay? And they don't comply with the rules and regulations of the land in which they are embodied, right? So the crown is really, as it relates to England, the crown is really office held in by the what do they call it, office of the Lord of Mayor, okay, in the London city-state. That's the real crown. The crown of England is just basically a fiat crown, okay, that's controlled by London city-state and basically the Vatican, because the Vatican city-state, London city-state, and the District of Columbia is also, they're all basically one. That's the triangle. The triangle, basically the trinity of power, okay, of the dynasties, right? The Rothschild, Oppenheimer, Shift, all those dynasties that are that inbreed among themselves to control the natural world, right? Okay. So they hide behind the English crown, or the fiat English crown of Elizabeth, and make her appear to be the queen of the commercial crown, and she of their commercial dynasty, and really she's not. She's a slave too. Okay, just a different kind of slave on a different hierarchy. Okay, of another on a greater hierarchy. Okay, the go to social scale class system. Okay, she's part of the class system too. Okay, so but she supports the rapist, right? As he shits on the world, right? He shits on the world from her throne. He shits on the world. Okay. 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 Now, regardless of the amount of semen the commercial world embodies in his shiftless body, he will never be human. Okay, as well as as long that, regardless of the amount of semen that rapist has in his body, he will never be human. Okay, which means he will never be okay, a spiritual, human, with the ability to ascend, right? And nor will his commercial queen be a genuine queen, okay? Because she has no respect for humanity, nor she has no respect for Allah. She and her commercial loyal seeds are also slaves to the what do they say, that spiritual rapist. Okay, the Rothschilds, Oppenheimers, the Wahlbergs, and the Schiffs, and all those commercial dynasties. A cabal. Okay, it's not a republic and it's not an empire. It's a cabal. Okay, of dynasties. Okay, this is all they are. Once the layers of that onion is shed, and the core is revealed. Okay, is shed back. That is all they are. Using their Federal Reserve banking system of usury to rape the entire world. The governments are globally exploited. They are raped, and then this cabal of rapists use the governments of the world to enforce its commercial laws, its commercial wills upon humanity, to rape humanity to rape the entire natural world, the inhabitants of the world. Okay, through a birth certificate system, and causing them to commercialize their bodies, right? Causing mothers to commercialize their children through a birth certificate, so that commercial world can usurp, okay, the manpower of all humanity, right? And another thing that's very interesting too, marriage certificates. When a person gets married, that blood test that they have to do is basically blood that is it's a blood ritual or blood sacrifice, basically, where the person goes to the doctor, right, gets a blood test, and that will that's like a binding them to the state. The binding that it's like a blood not a blood sacrifice. Yeah, it's a like a blood sacrifice. Okay, that binds their marriage. That makes it a three-way contract between the husband, the wife, and the state. And that blood and that license, the blood and the license, creates the bond between the person, the husband, the wife, and the state. It's a three-way contract, a three-way marriage. That's why the person has to get a divorce from the state too. When the marriage is ended, you know. Whereas before, the marriage was between the God and the person, the God and the husband and the wife, or let's say Allah, the husband and the wife. Now it's between the state and they didn't need no marriage contract, no marriage license. Now it's between the state and the husband and the wife. And the blood serves as that which binds them, like when the husband and the wife consummate their marriage on the first night. Okay, and if she's a virgin, then when they consummate that marriage, then there's that skin is broken, and there's a blood letting of blood. Well, it's the same thing with the blood test. Okay, it's the same thing as consummating the marriage. When the person gets a blood test, that's not sacrifice. It's a consummation. That blood test is a consummation of the marriage between the couple and the state. That's what that blood test is, and that's what the license is. Okay, it's a consummation. Anyway, so as we said, the governments, the Federal Reserve systems, they do their usury and loaning money to the governments. Then they rape the government, right? And they use the government to rape the inhabitants, rape the natives through systems like blood tests and license laws and co-driver's license, right? And car registration, house registration, taxes, and all this kind of stuff. Humanity gets raped, right? And if they don't comply, then what? they become public nuisance, right? They got to be put in jail. They got to be penalized. They got to be whipped with the penis, right? That's the whip, right? They got to be got to pay a penalty, right? Got to pay the penis, right? So then what? They must be crazy. They don't pay their taxes. They got to be crazy. They got to be punished, right? They got to be raped again. They got to be labeled criminals. Well, it's a crime, right, to not to pay these taxes, right? But what happens, right, through the birth certificates is that the person, they're raped, but through the birth certificate, right? Because now they're corporatized, and because now they're doing business in their corporate name, then their business, so they got to pay taxes because only a corporation can pay taxes. Only a corporation is supposed to pay taxes, but because you've been corporatized as a birth, right? So now you're using that corporate name, okay, and you gotta pay taxes on your earnings because you're a corporation. But if you use your birth name, the one your mother gave you, okay, that lowercase name, not that a capitalized name, right? You don't have to pay. You're not corporatized, so you shouldn't pay taxes on that. But because you're working in that birth certificate name, you can be raped. Your wages can be raped. You can be raped through the wages and through the marriage certificate and then get a divorce and be raped again, right? Okay, so they use the governments to rape the people, right? Because the government is raped, right? Okay. Now, so we said, okay, so and then they make civil laws, and now they can make civil laws on the people, right? Because they're corporations. The people are corporations. Okay, they've been corporatized. So now there's civil laws. They can, instead of being laws of the land, now there's laws on the people, right? Because they're corporations, right? Through the birth certificate, right? They're acting in that corporation. They're using those corporate names, right? So they have to be regulated as corporations. They can't just do what they want. They have no free will. Corporations don't have free will. People have free will, but corporations don't. Corporations can't think for themselves. They have to have parent companies. And United States Corporation, the government that's been corporatized, right, is the parent company of all these many corporations of people, right? Right. And the birth certificate, right? Right. Because if that corporate name, you're a corporation. And when you can be taxed. Okay, that's why you're given money when you're born. The money's loaned to the corporation when it's born. And that corporate money is invested. Right? It's a scam, a bank scam, right? So if the corporation has to have a parent corporation pay that money back for them through debt, right? And they set up a means by which that money's to be paid back, the IRS, right? Right, so you're raped, even at birth, coming at the mother's womb, with given this artificial name, right? This shadow government, right? That's controlling all this corporate. This new world order is a corporate world, a world of corpses, not real people. That's a new world order. That's their new world order, a world of corporations. And the natural world is going to become to be completely raped, to be no more. Is to be usurped and all converted into a negative world, right? A corporate world. A corporate structure. People are not human beings anymore. They're corporate structures. Working on all capital names, right? They're all capitalized. They've been capitalized, right? And that's why when they work for another corporation, they're dummy corporations, right? Coming out their mother's wombs are dummy corporations because they don't know. They're blind, right? They've been raped. Okay? That's why it's been said, get rid of that corporate name. Get rid of that corporate name. Okay? Because it's the corporation. You got to pay taxes because you're a corporation. And if you don't pay taxes and you're a corporation, yes, go to corporate jail. and they take it at the ass, right? Of that corporation, right? Okay, because that's the law of the corporate world. Okay, and if you're a corporation, you must abide by the corporation. And who oversees the corporate world? But the head corporation, the spiritual corporation, the Vatican. It controls the UCC laws. You're operating your corporation, your physical being, as the corporation you are, must adhere not to God's law, but to the corporate law. You must adhere to corporate law, the UCC laws, or the corporate commercial code, universal commercial code laws. Universal, not God's law, universal commercial code laws. That's the laws of the land. That's the law you're regulated under. Because now you're part of the land. You're not a human being controlling the land, you're of the land because you're a corporation. And that's why you pay taxes, and that's why the Vatican governs you with the universal code laws, because you're a corporation. And that's why you have to pay taxes, and that's why if you don't pay taxes as a corporation, you go to jail, because that's part of God. They're the gods, right? They're the ones who institute the law. They make the law. They're the gods. So they make the corporate laws. They're the corporate gods. And you must obey the corporate gods and go to the corporate jail or the corporate hell if you don't be obedient to the corporate laws as a corporation that you are under that capital name. Okay? So it's not God's law. You know, it's corporate law that everybody is under. Okay? God's law, that has no, like they say in the secular world, God's law has no place. Okay? Okay. If you think it's God's world, it's not. It's their corporate world. That delusional corporate world that has no feelings. It don't care for people. That's why getting raped that don't mean nothing. That's business. That's business. Dog-eat-dog corporate world. That's business. That's why they can what collateral in the bank. They can kill and have no feeling killing. They're only killing collateral. Bush said it himself. It's only collateral. Okay, collateral damage. You're not human anymore. You're a corporation. You have no feelings. You've been raped. Women are raped. That's why all this nature has no place in it. Okay? Anyway, and that's why it's political, right? It can be do all this political, and things can be turned upside down, basically, inside out. It don't have to make sense. Reality's twisted. Okay? Anyway, so what did we say? Okay, so it's commercial laws. UCC laws are used to rape the people, the inhabitants, the co-inhabitants of the land. It's a cabal of beastly rapists, commercial rapists, okay, that are at the root of the Zionist Khazar family tree that is nourished on human blood, okay, and human manpower, okay, which is why war is the dominant source of survival in their UCC commercial world, okay, and as we said, at the head of that is the Vatican. It's the head of all these dummy corporations, which humanity, all of humanity, is a dummy using that capital name, is a dummy corporation, and as we said, it must pay taxes to the Vatican. Okay, because that's part you got to pay what to the parent company. Take care of the parent. Take care of your parents, because what did God say? Take care of your parents. So you're taking care of your parents, the Vatican. Okay, and who takes care of the Vatican? The what? The Rothschild, right? They are the overseers, basically, through their banking system, right? And that's how the world is taken care of. That's how the world is controlled, right? Okay. And they can do whatever they want. And you got to be obedient to those UCC laws as a corporation. Now, if you're not a corporation, then you don't have to adhere to those laws. You're not a corporation adhering to that, using that dummy corporate name. You're not. You don't have to. You don't adhere to that. They can't. You're not under their jurisdiction, right? Only dummy corporations. Only corporations are adhere to their jurisdiction, right? Okay. So now we said war is a source of their survival. The beast cannot have okay, and that's how the beast survives. That's how the rapist survives, raping the natural world because right, death can't get life. Death can only survive if it has life. Okay. Okay, because we said the beast does not have life, right? He can't get life from shit. He's supposed to eat shit, right? Okay. Can't get positive out of negative. Okay. Okay. What do you say? Okay, so the beast wants to access the precious life regenerating black power, or that black carbon, right? That carbon 666, right? That gives life blood to the fiat commercial corp world of corpse. Okay, the demonic shadow government of Zionist cabal, a cabal of rapists, is the source of the source of all living hell, tormenting mental, emotional, and physical nightmares that humanity struggles to survive daily as their eyes are wired shut, commercially blind blinders to of liberty, justice, as they pursue their happiness in a free, open, democratic market. The rapist Zionist beast is using his city-states. Okay, so the eyes are wired shut, commercially blinded to the fiat liberty, fiat justice, and while they pursue their fiat happiness. That is the dummy corporations, right? Who are always broke, right? Always in the red, right? Always be the first to be sacrificed, right? The ones to be cut off, right? The ones to go bankrupt, right? Yeah, the dummy corporations. Okay, the ones who give the highest interest rate, right? The ones who have to pay all the taxes, right? The dummy corporations. Okay, they pursue their happiness, their fiat happiness, in their free, democratic, open market, right? Okay, and the rapist Zionist beast is using his city-states, right? Vatican city-state, London city-state, to violently rape all the dummy corporations, right? All his dummy corporations that just serve to work for them, right? And his dummy, in his city-state of District of Columbia, right? All these shitty states are shapeshift reality for all the humanity, right? Through systematically programming them on a global scale. The rapist beast, further selects the heads of each city-state for the inhabitants, for his dummy corporations, who he selects to serve as president of all his dummy corporations, right? Okay. Now the inhabitants of the city-states pay homage to the crown of the shitty states in the form, as we said, of taxes, such as revenues, as used to repay the debt borrowed from these cities, these dummy corporations when they were born. The governments, okay, these pseudo governments that basically work for the Lord Crown of the city states, okay. They get loans, right, for each dummy corporation that is born into the new world, their new commercial world, right? So they get loans, and they must pay those loans back in the form of debt, right, and form of taxes when they begin to become operational, right? As soon as they get operational, they get a social security number, and that social security number is a tracking number, right? And a tracking number of their earnings, right? And that they pay tax. That tracking number is used to as an account by which their earnings are tracked, and then they through that tracking, they keep account of how much they earn, and that debt is repaid through the taxes for which that dummy corporation was loaned, right? But they never see the principal of that earning, right? Even though they pay on it, they pay on the principal, right? And it's supposed to be paid, okay, paid back, but they never see any of the residuals from what their corporation earned for them that was placed on the market, right? They just pay the taxes, and somebody else reaps the benefits of that principal, the results of whatever that principal earned, right? So yeah. So and through that system, the world is raped, right? And who's at the head of that? As we said, the Vatican is at the head as the parent company, right? Of all the little dummy corporations who have that are given capital names, right? All right. Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, that concludes this video. And joyous Taurus full moon. Assalamu alaikum.